Hey everybody, this is Doa, and yeah, I thought I'd cast the game today. I've got some time, so I thought, what haven't I casted in a while? And I think it's been a little while since I've casted a TvZ, and I was looking over this great replay pack that Fnatic released. As you know, TSL, or formerly TSLRain, I should say, which is spawning here as our red Terran player at the bottom of XelNaga Caverns, has recently left TSL and has joined Fnatic MSI. So yeah, he's going to be Fnatic MSI now, so that'll be very interesting to see kind of how he does in the future here. But this is one of the games from the ladder replay pack that they released very recently here, I think just a couple days ago, and his opponent from the Korean server is going to be faifai, who is a player that no one's really ever heard of, so I don't really know what to expect out of him or anything like that. But we've got TSLRain, or I guess I should say FnaticRain, versus faifai. It's going to be hard to get used to that, but I promise I will. Don't worry about it. So Rain versus faifai, and Rain's one of those players that people have really kind of sold short, I feel, throughout his history in the GSL. He was, of course, a finalist in, I believe it was Season 2? I want to say it was Season 2. Yeah. Well, let me think. First season was Rainbow versus Fruit Dealer, right? No, second season was Marine King versus Nestea. Third season was MVP versus... Oh, no, it was MC versus Rain. That's what it was. Yeah, it was third season of the GSL Open. That was MC versus TSLRain at the same time. Now FnaticRain. And it looks like Rain is going to go ahead and put down a barracks at his choke point. He's going to go ahead and wall off, which is pretty normal against Zerg. Obviously, you don't want to leave your wall wide open here to let Zerglings run in and cause all sorts of havoc. But we'll have to see what kind of build he does. I mean, he's kind of pegged as sort of an all-in-y player quite often, but really he's able to play the macro game just as well as anyone else. Maybe not just as well as like an MVP or an MMA or something like that, but he's, you know, definitely good enough to be among the top Korean Terran players. So, oh, nice little block there by faifai, preventing that supply depot from going down. You don't see that very often, actually, but the Marine will pop out and chase that away. So speaking of faifai, let's see what he's doing back at his base, getting his spawning pool and his gas. He has decided to go hatch first, and I feel like hatch first may be a little bit risky on XelNaga Caverns. It's sort of become like the quote-unquote small map these days, but it's still fairly safe if you know, kind of know what to do after it. If you have good drone control, if you have good unit control in general, you're going to be just fine. This SCV has decided to turn to a life of crime and steal 5 minerals, but will he get it back to the base? That's the question. We're going to have to find out, because Zerglings are going to be on their way very soon, because the spawning pool will finish shortly. It looks like in the meantime, Rain is going to be going for a Hellion fast expand, most likely. He's got just the one gas right now. He's got his one barracks and his factory right there. And usually when you see those two right next to each other, you're going to see that swapped over so that you can reactor out a couple Hellions early on to do some pressure on your opponent. And that's really, I would say, one of the best openings against Zerg that Terran has on this map. I mean, as you can see, this natural is so wide open here that Hellions can get around the back, and they have a lot of ways to escape as well. So not bad at all. Here comes a drone, returning from doing a little bit of scouting, it looks like, and yeah, good response, putting up a spine crawler. I wonder if he did see that front. I think he didn't see the front, but you know, it is just good to stay safe. I mean, Hellions are so common on this map, and I'd say this is a good response by faifai. Even 2 spine crawlers would be, you know, maybe okay here, but 1 is certainly just fine. 2 Marines moving around the map, doing a little bit of patrolling here to try to clear out the XelNaga towers. When it's in the early game TvZ, I always love to send out a couple Marines, make sure that I've got control of those towers, just because in the early game, Terran can have that map control, so why not use it, you know, especially once the Hellions come out, like we see these now coming out from Rain, and he is putting down another command center as well, so it will be a Hellion expand. And here comes some Hellions and Marines. In the base here, this creep tumor is takes a little bit of damage, but should be just fine. And yeah, with the positioning of the spine crawler here, the queen right here, that's just what faifai needs to really make sure that these Hellions don't do a whole lot. One Zergling does get roasted there, and he might be able to cause a little bit of damage, but I don't think he's going to be able to do much until some reinforcements arrive here. And speaking of reinforcements, there they are. So now we're going to have to see if these Hellions can really cause any damage. Sneaking past the Zerglings, nice. Oh, almost around, nice. Almost around by those Zerglings, but there are just too many Hellions right now. And it looks like Rain might be able to cause a little bit of damage, might be able to catch those drones. Getting transferred down to the natural, but the Hellions are at very low health right now, getting taken out. So nice response by faifai. He did lose a good amount of Zerglings, but not really a whole lot of drones. One Hellion still kind of causing a little bit of annoyance here, but it looks like the drones will go ahead and, you know, the drones might even be able to surround that one. But nope, Hellion just still at 11 hit points. Wow, this is like the world's most annoying Hellion. This is pretty amazing. Rain really is showing us what he can do with one unit here. So not really causing a whole lot of damage, but certainly keeping faifai on the stones. And that Hellion is still alive. Jeez, just kill it already. Okay, there we go. Spawning pool saves the day. Worker revolt, and the Hellion is dead. And yeah, so let's take a look back at the base of Rain. He did swap that barracks over back to the reactor after producing those 4 Hellions, just to get a lot of Marines out, built a tech lab on his factory going for tanks. And now that he's about ready to send out that command center, he's going to have tanks with siege mode on the way as well, so he's going to be pretty safe against something like that. He knows he doesn't have to worry about banelings or anything like that at this point in this game because he saw the inside of the base for so long. He knows exactly what his opponent has and how much of it he has. So yeah, Rain probably feeling very, very confident at this point. Let's just take a look at the worker count for a moment. It does look like faifai is ahead 36-30, so showing that he is a Zerg player able to produce just enough units to hold off those Hellions and then go ahead and produce enough drones to get saturated both expansions. And we do have an Evo chamber finishing right now. If you notice the positioning up here, preventing Hellions from coming around the back, so faifai is still a little bit worried about Hellions, but I do like the positioning for those Evo chambers. And wow, really going all out, preventing the Hellions here, getting the macro hatch and the baneling nest as well. And you do see the macro hatch a little bit more commonly on XelNaga Caverns, just because the third base is a little bit tougher to take because of these rocks here and these rocks here for Zerg. So I have to see you know, how he copes with that later in the game. Of course, I select the Zerglings and the rocks, and of course it sends me to view the rocks when I click the portrait here. For those of you who didn't know, you can click a unit and then you can click the portrait and look, whoa, it just centers the camera right on the unit, so that's fun. But if you happen to select an offensive unit and rocks, for some reason the game always wants to focus on the rocks, except for that one time right now when I was trying to demonstrate it. Sometimes I think StarCraft 2 just hates me, but I love it so much. It doesn't matter. StarCraft and I have a pretty dysfunctional relationship. We do have a medevac going out right now with 8 Marines. Stim is about halfway done, so it should be finishing about the time that medevac gets there. Third base on the way for faifai as well. And with this macro hatch, he's really going to be able to produce a lot of offensive units. So I'm wondering kind of a little bit if he's planning on getting a little bit more aggressive in the future here after he gets a 4th expansion started at his gold. But we're going to have to see if FnaticRain has anything to say about that. That's the question now. He does have siege mode researching. Stim's getting closer to done. Any engineering base we do, but no upgrades quite yet. And here's the drop for Rain coming in right now. Is it going to cause any damage? We're about to find out. Stim is not finished yet, so maybe a little bit of a missed timing here for this drop, but he is actually going to be able to pick off a couple drones here, but not as many as he could have, maybe getting this Overlord as well. Yeah, looks like he will pick that off. Microing the Marines as best he can. Is he going to pick them up? No, he's actually not going to pick them up. Wow, just losing. Oh, no, he did pick them up. Never mind. Sometimes with the range that the medevac has to pick up the units, it can be a little bit deceptive. So somehow 6 of those Marines pole vault themselves into the medevac and getting away. Nice job trying to drop those on the high ground, trying to lure the queen in, and he might actually get it. faifai in a little bit of danger of losing this queen, but no, the Zerglings do respond, and it looks like Rain is going to need to pull back now. Looks like faifai is about ready to take that 4th base, that gold base, but at the same time, FnaticRain about ready to move out across the map. He's got a good amount of Marines, a good amount of tanks. Let's find out. 4 siege tanks, 33 Marines, as opposed to 55 Zerglings for faifai. And of course, you can't count out the queens as well. So the question is, how much damage is Rain going to be able to cause with that? Looks like quite a bit. This 3rd is not terribly well defended. If he gets a good siege positioning, he could do a lot of damage and at the very least, kill off this base. Gonna have to find out here. And where is the army for faifai? Oh, it's actually moving down the map here. I was gonna like make the screen bigger so you can see everything, but no, it's actually a counterattack from faifai, sacrificing his 3rd. I don't know if this is really the best decision for our Zerg player, as he's not going to be able to get in the main. He's going to be able to shut down pretty much everything going on at the natural, but look at this. He's lost his 3rd base, and Rain is in a great position right now to do more damage to that natural as well, as he kind of deals with it. But Rain really not taking advantage of this. Kind of sitting around now, moving in. He's going to go ahead and try to go after this natural as well. faifai killing off every SCV at the natural. That's going to set Rain back quite a bit, taking down the add-on as well. Supply depot getting very, very low in the meantime. Rain shelling the natural base of faifai. He's got 2 tanks left, a couple queens, and that queen's not going to survive very long. Nope. And at the same time, a drop over here, but that will be cleaned up very, very quickly by faifai. And I think, yeah, Rain's probably going to be pushed back here as soon as the Zerglings do reinforce. And there is a good amount of banelings coming in as well, but he's going to need to be careful. He doesn't want to waste all those banelings on the tanks. Here he comes, sending in the Zerglings first. Good decision there by faifai, and he will be able to clean up this army from XelNaga. A couple more tanks on the low ground, though. Just coming to reinforce now, and these Zerglings getting pretty much annihilated by those. One attack upgrade right now for XelNaga, or I'm sorry, FnaticRain. He does have a Viking picking off Overlords as well as giving vision to those tanks. So faifai in big trouble right now. The Harvester count's still fairly even, 33 to 38. Army count's fairly similar, 82 to 57. Bit of an advantage for Rain. And really, I mean, in terms of ZVP, an advantage for Terran is much bigger, quote-unquote, than an advantage for Zerg. As with Zerg, you tend to need kind of overwhelming numbers to attack into an army like this, whereas Terran, you need, you know, a bit of a supply advantage. Not to mention, as well, you generally don't see quite as many gatherers for the Terran forces as well. Nice scan taking out some creep tumors there. A couple reinforcing Marines. Banelings coming down trying to save the creep tumors, but they're only going to die after taking out a couple Marines. That's kind of what Banelings do. They live to die. But right now, I mean, faifai trying to mine at his natural, but Rain having really good control over this game at this point. These Marines are very low health, though, so there is still a pretty good chance that faifai could come in and, you know, possibly drive this off, trying to get rid of that Viking, giving vision to those siege tanks, just because that is so annoying having siege tanks on the low ground like that. And yeah, faifai just now throwing Zerglings at this army piecemeal, and I think things are looking pretty good for XelNaga right now. I'm sorry, FnaticRain, I promise I will never say XelNaga again in this cast, except for that one time when I was just saying that I wouldn't say it anymore. Alright, so FnaticRain doing quite well at this point. And the Zergling's going to try to come down here again. They're finally going to get in on the siege tanks. Clean those up. Possibly, is he going to get the second tank? Looks like he is. Finally cleaning that up, but at what cost? Rain is busy taking his gold right now. And there's not a whole lot faifai can do. He's not in a position where he can really counterattack too effectively. He only has about 6 Zerglings morph, or 6 rather, I'm sorry, 11 Banelings morphing right there. But you know what? It doesn't really matter because he's still so far behind Rain that he really can't effectively attack right now. See what faifai has planned, though. Looks like Rain's going to push again. And, you know, again, this is kind of a scary force for faifai to deal with. His creep has been pushed back. He doesn't have a 3rd or 4th base. Looks like he's just going to go for it. And we're going to have to see what happens. Rain pushing in. faifai a little bit indecisive. Decides to pull back. He does need to defend this right now. If he has any hope of winning this game. And yeah, that is just not enough. One tank going down. A lot of Banelings getting killed by the other tanks. Rain splitting up his Marines a little bit, sending a few more up to look for the rest of the army to see where it is exactly. A little bit of a tiny counterattack coming down here, and he's going to be able to get a lot of SCVs. Whoa! That was a rough day to be the SCVs transferring up to the gold base. It's still going to turn to a planetary, but you know what? Again, it just doesn't matter a whole lot because I think Rain has this game pretty much in the bag right now. Medevac's hitting those Marines. One last push from faifai. Not even going through with it, pulling back here, losing some more Banelings to tanks, pushing in again, and yeah, with the siege tanks behind here, Marines as well. Whoa, nice pickup, really nice pickup there. There's a G, not even a GG from faifai, just a single G, and FnaticRain does take down faifai on XelNaga Caverns. This was a game from the Korean ladder at the Masters League, or probably Grandmasters actually. I believe Rain is in Grandmasters. I'm like 95% sure he is. But anyway, yeah, kind of a cool little TvZ on XelNaga Caverns. Just some really good timings by FnaticRain, able to push in and take out this 3rd. faifai really kind of handing him the game by going for that counterattack at the natural, doing some damage. But it's definitely not worth it to give up 2 bases just to do a little bit of damage at your opponent's natural. So faifai making some decisions that really gave XelNaga, or I'm sorry, dang it, FnaticRain the game. But, oh well, that's how it goes. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. If you like it, definitely subscribe. Look me up on Twitter as well at DoaSC. Going to be a lot more content coming in the near future here. Thanks for watching. Keep playing StarCraft 2, guys, and I'll see you on the next cast.